For almost 3 decades, Happy Gilmore has been among the noisiest, craziest, and most memorable golf films ever created. It is outrageous, replete with punches thrown through the air, broken clubs, and even a bizarre fight between Adam Sandler and Bob Barker, the longtime host of The Price is Right. But behind the slapstick mayhem and the hyperbolic gags is a greater level that even most viewers have never realized. Tucked away beneath the absurdity are glitches, improvisation, production errors, and in-jokes that went over the audience's head for decades. Until now, Adam Sandler himself recently drew back the curtain to reveal what actually went down behind the scenes. What he showed us wasn't about the written-down laughs. It was about the flubs, the improv, and the flubs turned gold that turned the film into a comedy cult classic. After you learn these facts, you'll never look at Happy Gilmore the same. From uncredited appearances and phony props to costly production blunders and gags nobody ever saw coming. The secret life of this movie is almost funnier than the film itself. And in the middle of it all is one thing fans completely overlooked. The one line that never even got cut. Ask a fan to recall a line from Happy Gilmore, and there's a good chance the first thing out of their mouth will be, "The price is wrong." It's coarse, it's shocking, and it's indelible. The insult perfectly captures the chaotic, juvenile energy of the film, and it has become one of the most repeated quotes in comedy. But here's what most fans don't know. That now iconic line wasn't in the script at all. According to Sandler, the line was born in the heat of the moment during filming of the infamous golf course fight with Bob Barker. It wasn't rehearsed, planned, or even contemplated by the writers. Sandler spit it out instinctively between shots just to kill the tension and make the crew laugh. The outcome? The whole set blew up. Cast members, crew, and even Barker himself were unable to stop laughing. It was going to be cut either by the studio or by the ratings board due to its foul-mouthed punch. But when test audiences viewed the scene with the insult left in, they reacted with a vengeance. They laughed raucously. What had begun as an ad-lib one-off would turn into one of the most iconic lines of 90s comedy. Bob Barker had a similar surprise waiting for him. Rather than being offended by the shot, he adored it. Barker went so far as to ask for a retake so he could cut loose on him more, Sandler says. Far from the squeaky clean TV persona viewers were accustomed to, Barker enjoyed the opportunity to start anew. He wanted to throw a punch, Sandler recalled. And he did. The moment merged two worlds apart. Barker, with his grandfatherly daytime TV persona, suddenly crashed into Sandler's outrageous abandon. Instant chemistry, and the resulting scene became cinematic gold. It wasn't comedy alone, it was a clash of cultures that miraculously succeeded, demonstrating that even the most unlikely combinations could produce unforgettable enchantment. Naturally, Happy Gilmore couldn't exist without its most familiar joke, Happy's outlandish golf swing. With its hockey-like run-up, all-out slap, and complete lack of observance of form, it was something the masses had never witnessed in a sports film. But few know that the swing did not spring from a screenwriter's mind. It sprang from Adam Sandler's annoyance on an actual golf course. Sandler had just completed Billy Madison and went out and played golf with friends, continuing to slice the ball. In frustration, he rushed out at the ball and hit it like a hockey puck. To his amazement, the ball traveled dead straight. That moment of comedic fury spawned the idea of an unsuccessful hockey player channeling his frustration onto the golf course. The swing was amusing enough to be the central part of Happy's character, but also became a nightmare for Sandler in real life. Early rehearsals saw Sandler pull a groin muscle as he sprinted into the shot. While it wasn't sufficient to halt shooting, it left him limping throughout the shoot. That limp impacted the manner in which he swung in almost every scene, resulting in slight differences from take to take. At times it appeared crooked, at times slower, but always disorganized. Sandler later confessed that limp was real. Ironically, the accident only provided further authenticity to Happy's character. The broken, wild swing was also symbolic of the character himself, defective, angry, yet oddly potent. Christopher McDonald's performance as Shooter McGee Gavin provided Happy Gilmore with its ideal villain. With slick back hair and a smug smile, McDonald captured the snobbish elitism of golf culture. But while Shooter was stealing every scene, something odder was taking place just off-camera. Throughout several tournament scenes, an off-camera extra can be observed doing strange things. In one shot, he copies Shooter's swing in exaggerated slow motion. In another, he creates shadow puppets on the lawn. And in arguably the greatest background gag of all, he acts as if he's choking on a hot dog while everybody else is ignoring him. This wasn't a fluke. As told on Sandler's DVD commentary, the extra had lost a bet to the assistant director. His penalty was to goof off in each Shooter scene until someone caught on. Interestingly, no one did, not the director, not actors, not even continuity personnel. Fans didn't find out about the prank until years later when Sandler nonchalantly mentioned it. Now, observant viewers can't overlook it. It turned into one of the movie's unseen levels of pandemonium, demonstrating even minor background characters could command laughter. If you've watched the film 2 or 3 times, you might have noticed the voice of Hal, the cruel orderly in the nursing home. With his phony mustache, wicked smile, and passive-aggressive intimidation, Hal is perhaps one of the biggest comedians in the film's supporting cast, and you won't see his name on the credits. That is because Hal was portrayed by Ben Stiller, totally uncredited. Stiller wasn't even meant to be part of the film. He stopped by the set, joking with everyone, and came up with the character in the moment. Sandler enjoyed it so much he had him film a scene. Stiller improvised almost all of Hal's dialogue, including the now famous warm glass of "shut the hell up." The cast fought not to crack up as he read the lines with frightening cheerfulness. When credit time rolled around, Sandler and Stiller determined that it would be funnier if Hal were anonymous. The anonymity only contributed to the character's cult following. To this day, new fans are surprised to discover who played him. Perhaps the weirdest aspect of the movie is Happy's fixation on Subway sandwiches showcased in a low-rent commercial montage. Most devotees presume it was scripted. In reality, it was added last minute after Subway paid for product placement. The cast and crew shot the commercial in just 48 hours using real sandwiches. Unfortunately, real food doesn't fare well under hot lights. The sandwiches went bad in no time, becoming what one of the actresses later termed gym socks and roadkill in a bread boat. They were so odious that Sandler began swinging the bad sub around the set as a joke. According to crew members, the sandwich was ultimately wrapped in plastic and buried. Carl Weathers' Chubb's character sported a phony wooden hand that proved to be one of the funniest recurring gags in the film. But observant fans have pointed out that the hand fluctuates in shape and size throughout the movie. That is because there were at least 6 of them, all badly constructed and perpetually in pieces. At times it appeared too small, at times too glossy, and at times even had fingernails. Weathers embraced the inconsistency, consciously waving the incorrect hand in scenes to determine if anyone caught it. The cast thought it was funny, and nobody tried to correct the continuity mistakes. What they have is a prop, so poor it turned into brilliance. Easily the most shocking secret is from the iconic fight scene with Bob Barker. Choreographed for laughs, one of the punches was entirely real. Barker, a professional martial artist who trained with Chuck Norris, refused to let anyone do his stunts for him. On one take, he miscalculated the timing and landed a hard punch in Sandler's face. Sandler's shocked yell, "The hell was that?" was not acting. It was real pain. Rather than cutting the take, the filmmakers included it, infusing even more madness into an already crazy sequence. One of the movie's most sophisticated gags featured a golf ball ricocheting from scaffolding into a cart, down a hill, and into the cup. The shot was done practically, not with CGI, involving ramps, timing, and countless resets. Following 2 unsuccessful attempts over 2 days, they at last got the shot, only to find the camera had stuck. On the second try, the ball rolled flawlessly, but into a drain pipe lost forever. That wasn't merely any golf ball. It was a custom-made prop, painted and treated to reflect light properly on film. There were only two, and one was missing. Replacement cost? $20,000. The final one was kept on display in a glass case with the phrase, "Most expensive ball I never hit." The hockey origins of Happy Gilmore aren't a character quirk, it's embedded in the movie. Costumes, props, and even score numbers are full of hockey references. His gloves are taped as if they were hockey sticks, his shirt colors are actual team references, and one scoreboard replicates NHL statistics. It wasn't until years after the fans even knew these existed, however, that Sandler acknowledged in an AMA, "We snuck in a lot." That was our way to say Happy never really left the ice. The largest secret hidden of all is the ending. Initially, Happy slices the final putt and shooter wins. The moral was to learn to graciously accept failure. But test audiences despised it. They wanted Happy to emerge victorious. So, the filmmakers filmed an additional ending with a lengthy Rube Goldberg trick shot. If you freeze the frame just before the ball falls, you can still glimpse the scoreboard reading "Shooter the Victory," a remnant of the original ending. Ultimately, what makes Happy Gilmore timeless isn't the plot or the humor. It's the anarchy off camera. From mishaps and ad-libs to shattered props and background actors, the movie evolved as much from errors as from forethought. Sandler had the best explanation. We were just trying to make each other laugh. And perhaps that's the reason the film stands the test of time. Underneath the goofiness is a surprising workmanship, a universe in which each detail, foreseen or unforeseen, contributes to further humor. The fans still quote the lines, mimic the swing, and chuckle at things they didn't catch initially. A goofy golf comedy that was once written off has turned into an image of pop culture history.